There's something terrifying yet beautiful about authority. It doesn't need to shout. It simply is. Now, imagine this. Hell, a realm of fire and rebellion. Lucifer, the king of darkness, seated on a throne forged from pride. And suddenly, everything begins to tremble. Not because of war, but because an angel was coming. Not to negotiate, but to humiliate the prince of darkness. Right in his own kingdom, carrying the unstoppable authority of God. What kind of light can walk through eternal fire and not be consumed? The assignment of the story begins long after Lucifer's fall, when hell was established as his dominor, so he believed. In that realm of flame and ash, the sound of worship had long been silenced, until one moment, a sound echoed through the void. The sound of heaven's command. From the highest heavens, God's voice thundered, calling one of his mightiest servants. "Go," said the voice that made stars. "Go into the place of rebellion and remind the liar who still reigns." The heavens split open. Every star dimmed. A single figure emerged, his armor glowing brighter than the sun, his wings streaked with fire and lightning. He was not trembling. Was calm. Because when you carry the authority of God, you don't fear the shadows. The shadows fear you. The gate of recognition. When his feet touched the borders of hell, the flames bent away. The screams of the damned went silent. The air grew heavy, as if hell remembered the one power it could never escape. Deep in his throne, Lucifer's eyes opened. He felt that holiness that burned him like acid. He rose, and for the first time in millennia, the king of pride felt fear. The angel moved through hell's gates without force. They simply opened, as if the metal itself remembered its creator. The angel's presence was not a spectacle. It was absolute. Every shadow recoiled. Every presence in that realm felt utterly seen. The unseen collision beyond the gates stretched Lucifer's empire of ruin. The angel walked deliberately toward the central throne, carved from rebellion. The tension was immense. This was not war. It was judgment. It was the weight of divine remembrance, pressing down on everything that had forgotten who God was. Lucifer's throne began to quake. The stones cracked as the atmosphere of heaven began to saturate the air. The balance of hell started to shift, not by violence, but by truth. The throne undone. Humiliation for the proud is not always about defeat. It's about exposure. The angel had not come to destroy. He had come to reveal. In that terrible silence, Lucifer's power began to wither. His throne, built on pride, could not withstand the weight of pure obedience. For a brief eternal moment, hell bowed not, by choice, but by truth. The being who once carried light now cowed before it. The angel did not gloat, did not speak. He stood as a living proclamation that God's reign extends everywhere. Lucifer's throne crumbled from the bottom up. It wasn't shattered. It was undone by truth. The message was clear. Hell is not beyond reach. Darkness is not beyond rule. The living sermon. The angel's presence wasn't a display of rage. It was divine order returning where chaos thought it ruled. The silence was the real power. The fires dimmed. The chains hummed in recognition. The most critical realization. Authority doesn't come from position. It comes from submission. This angel was a living reminder of what Lucifer had lost, the power that comes from obedience. That is why his presence alone was enough. Lucifer's pride met heaven's purity, and there was no contest. The confrontation was spiritual. Every lie he had built his throne upon melted under the weight of the truth he had tried to deny. God is still sovereign. The prophetic pattern. The throne collapsed completely, turning to ash at the feet of obedience. The angel didn't stay to watch. His mission was complete. As he turned to leave, his light began to lift, slowly rising through the darkness like dawn. For a fleeting moment, even hell glowed from the reflection of heaven's glory. The memory of what happened was etched forever into the fabric of that realm. Now pause and think about this for a moment. If the presence of one obedient servant could silence the kingdom of darkness, what could the presence of God's Spirit do through you right where you are? This story isn't just about an angel, it's about a pattern. Every time light enters darkness, that pattern repeats. Every time truth confronts pride, that confrontation echoes through eternity. You don't have to shout at your demons. You don't have to wrestle for authority. You only have to walk in obedience. Hell doesn't fear you. It fears what you carry. The angel's descent was a message to all creation. No realm, no rebellion, no ruler of darkness can stand when heaven decides to move. And this is not just history. It is prophecy. What do you think breaks a person more? The fury of defeat, or the quiet shame of humiliation? Drop your answer in the comments below. We want to know your thoughts on this battle, and if this story proved to you the power of the authority you carry, make sure you like this video, subscribe to Bible Mysteries, share this truth with someone who needs to know they're sent by heaven.